This red here is what was left on from the original Westendorf Stack Saver 2. Now, a lot of guys that own these things, they love them. They think they're great. The worst thing about them is that they're not tall enough. So the Stack Saver should be, somewheres. I think if you're going to make a Stack Saver, for big square bales, at a minimum it should be as high as this one here if you're going to be picking up 2 bales. No problems then. If you pick up any more than 2 bales, 2 bales with it the way it is, you're going to be eating it up there. So we don't really want to do that. So that's why I built this. Now, give me a chunk of that steel, that heavy walled tubing. This steel here is not this steel here. This is something like 1/4 inch. That's it. I went with something like that, which is 3/8 of an inch. So all this is 3/8 of an inch. This plate here, this is 1/2 inch by 3 inch. I decided that it would be a good idea to actually notch them into the corners. It's stronger on the corners to weld to, and if anything comes back against it hard, or you're pushing something hard, it'll go back against and it'll push from here, which is the subframe, which will be attached to the tractor. The brunt of the weight of this thing is going to be taken up by this pivoting gizmo. And Timothy, I want you to go ahead and hook this thing up here, and we'll get a better look at it. It's really simple to hook these up. Very simple to hook these up. I have relocated the Hydro-Snap, the secondary, because of my little nub there. There's plenty of room here. It's okay. It's not in my way. I'm going to paint that here in a few seconds. But Mr. Tim is just going to drop it down and come in. There it is. And when he backs it up, they are now snapped into place. Okay, so that's it. It is on here. Let me back up a little bit. Now go ahead and tilt it back. Okay, so this is my dilemma before I had to build all this onto here. This loader is very close to the front of the tractor. Very close. Everything seems to be working with my Stack Saver too. Now, there it is, Mad Max mother. Yeah. Still be able to push it, make it go flat. Go back. And that's how the Stack Saver works. Alright, so back it out of the building a bit. Give me some more room here. And I can show you its features. And it is no longer going to hit that. Cut it off. You're annoying me, boy.
Of course, I thought that's what I was for.
No. I actually had you to take over the farm, but you're just annoying me right now. Anyway, all right, so here's the deal. These are the things that I don't like about the Stack Saver itself. I don't think that the hinges are tough enough for what I'm going to do to them. There's four spikes on it, obviously. I could have gotten 4 long ones, or 4 short ones, or 3 long ones and 2 short ones. It could have went either way anyway. It doesn't even matter. I could put another long one in there, and those little ones would still work, be just fine. And I may just do that. We don't have another one of those spikes laying around here, do we?
No.
Yeah. All right, I'll have to get another one. But anyway, the thing I don't like about it is these hinges are not quite strong enough, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that they aren't. It's just I'm going to be putting a tremendous amount of use on this machine. The other thing that I did was I added grease zerks. Zerk. There's so many people that call these things zerks. There's no T in it. It's Z-E-R-K. Zerk. So anyway, I added grease zerks to the hinges. There's only 3 of them. This is only, what is this? This is only 1/4 inch plate steel. So when this 1/4 inch plate steel comes around, it is very thin right here, and it's just quite thin there, and it doesn't thrill me. It doesn't make me say, hey, you know what, this thing is going to last forever. That's what I feel when I see this particular design. So what I'm going to do in the next week or two, when I get the time to do it, is I'm going to get heavy walled pipe, and I'm going to add two more hinges onto it. You know, a lot of companies would say, people would just say, why don't you just weld it solid? There's no need for that. Well, that little pivoting thing, when you go to back out and you tilt that thing a little bit, it just pulls right out. Once it gets them started moving, they're out. Wet hay, dry hay, doesn't matter. They work. They work really well. So I'm going to add two more. That's the one thing that I didn't like about it. The other thing I didn't like about it was that it was so close to the front of the tractor that I couldn't get across the load of hay. So what I did was I built a subframe behind it here. And I added 16 inches here plus 3 inches there. So that's 16 and 3, what's that, 19 inches, right? So I added 19 inches forward of that, keeping the front of my tractor away from the trailer. I don't know what lift capacity I've lost due to that, but it's a 9,000 pound lift capacity loader, and if I lost 2,000 pounds, great, you know, 7,000 pounds, I'm only going to be putting on 4,500 pounds, so 5,000 pounds. And honestly, when you tilt them back, that changes the center of gravity. I mean, if he was to tilt that back, the center of gravity is going to be somewhere here. So I highly doubt that I've lost anything. You know, I just highly doubt that I've lost anything. I don't know, though, because I'm going to be taking it to the field and checking it out. Me and Tim are going to rattle can paint this thing. I've got a bunch of John Deere green paint. I'm going to paint everything that I did green and leave the red red. I know Joseph wanted me to paint it a different color, but I'm sorry. I just don't have, I just don't care to paint it any other color. Been having a lot of people complain about this loader. Like, oh, you should have bought a John Deere loader. That would have been bolt-on. Well, I can guarantee you, my friends, John Deere loaders, yes, they bolt on just like this one. There's no difference. I would have plumbed it the same. It would have had the same signal valve that I had to put on there in the direct plumb kit. It would have been literally no difference. It would have not come with a Comfort Ride system. The Comfort Ride system, to me, is worth money. And I paid for the loader and the Stack Saver $18,750. That's what I paid for the whole entire thing. Now, was it exactly what I needed? No. And there's another reason that it wasn't exactly what I needed, because this whole apparatus that I just built, nobody builds that. Nobody. Anybody that handles great big bales of hay, they sell a grabber system. I think in Europe they sell a grabber system, which is slow. Not that I won't put grabbers on it. I've made provisions that I can. There's plenty of room here and up there to grab the second and third bale if I choose to use 3 bales. I have it plumbed to the front there so that I can use the hydraulics if I want to, but it's slow. And I just don't like slow. I like speedy stuff. So as far as the John Deere loader sticking out a little farther, yeah, it does. It does. It sticks out about a foot farther. And that foot farther, they have actually less lift capacity, because it is what it is. It's less lift capacity the farther you go away from it. And the thing that I did like about the Westendorf loader is that it is close to the front of the tractor, and it's not sticking way out front like, say, the John Deere is. I have a choice. I don't have to use this system. I could go buy another Stack Saver and put it on like that and only handle 1 or 2 bales. And I probably might just do the very same thing. Go buy a Stack Saver and add this height here and all this, just this height here to it, so that if I'm only going to be handling 2 bales, I can just grab that. It's really not that big a deal. But for bucket work, it's right up close to the tractor. It lifts high, it lifts fast, it lifts a lot, and it works really nice. I like the loader. I think it's built very strong. This type of steel structure, whether you want to believe it or not, is actually stronger than square tubing. This is like how they build bridges and stuff. So Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm sorry that you think I should have bought a Quickie or a Deere or some other brand. I mean, Alto or Allo loaders. They don't sell those here. They do sell Quickie, but you know what? Westendorf is made in America. I think it's a great machine. I really do. I like it. Do you like it, Tim?
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I really do. So there is room for improvement, but it's not the loader side of it so far. It's in the joystick. I think that they could come up with an electronic joystick system, and that would make me a lot happier with an electronic joystick over the cable type. But again, more money. People will rather spend $18,750 for a complete system, that's with the bucket and the stack saver, over, say, a $21,000 system with the electronic joystick. So, you know, I don't know. That's just all in marketing. I'm not in marketing. I'm a farmer. So this is what the Mad Max Mobile looks like now. If somebody gets in front of that thing with a car, they're dead. That's all there is to it. But everything else seems to function well. The other thing is, if I was to add onto this without building a subframe forward, it would hit the hood. I would have only able to bring it up to about here, which would barely cover the 3 bales that I need it to cover. And again, I'm probably going to be welding sockets up here with more spikes. I can move those little spikes up here, put 2 long ones down there just for stabilization for when you go around corners. But everything, I really needed to move it forward so that it would protect the hood of my tractor. My dad can look through if he's running it as you raise it up, and I can show you the visibility. I mean, there was some thought put into the design of this thing. So you're going down the road, right? Let me turn this on. You're going down the road. This is the height. That's where you're going to go. You can tilt it back. You can level them. You have all those bales up there, and you're never going to lift those that high unless you're putting them up on a pile. So yeah, there it is. But the thought that went into it was right about here. You got to be able to see what's out over it. This hood is very clear. A John Deere would have been up in my face. There would have been more tower, like the 7410. That was actually closer to the back of the tractor, and the arms are taller. This one actually contours the hood very nice, or bonnet if you're in England or whatever. I still can't see my spikes, but I don't need to, because at this level right here, I can see there's actually a level indicator right there. I know some of you don't believe it, but that's for the bucket, and this one here is for the boom. So as I raise the boom, it will tell me where I'm at. And as you can see, it is actually self-leveling. You do have to. John Deere wasn't perfect either. But that's it, way up there. You can see it's a little difficult, but you can see, and it does. It lifts 18 feet. Let's speed my engine up. It lifts to 18 feet. I'm pretty pleased with the way it looks. And we're going to paint it before I go to use it, because I just don't want it to be raw steel that's going to turn rusty. So I'm going to have to paint it up. So that'll probably be tomorrow's job. I can just paint it, or I can paint it right now. But I got to clean up my shop real quick before I do that, and me and Tim can rattle can it real quick, and it'll probably come out pretty decent. So that's what we're going to do. But yeah, please don't tell me I needed to buy something else. It's not your operation. You probably never even ran a loader, or if you have ran a loader, maybe you like the loader you have. I can guarantee you that you probably never ran a Westendorf loader. I have ran a Westendorf loader years ago. I had a loader. It was a Westendorf. I ran it for probably 10 years. It was old. It was something that was built in 1974, and I ran it for 10 years. Always reliable, always went, did the job. Somebody had wrecked into something with it. With that machine, it was an actual dedicated loader. That's all it was. It was never a tractor. It was a type of loader. They used it in a slurry plant. But they had ran into something and broke the loader, and then they welded it, but they didn't weld it correctly, and there was a lot of glue on it, as I would call it. It was snot welds. So with all those snot welds, it was really difficult to get it welded right. But other than that, that damn thing was reliable. So I did run a Westendorf loader, and I always enjoyed it. So, and that was built in 1974 by the same company, this guy's grandparents, for God's sakes, that I bought this off of. And I enjoy the loader so far. My dad's in love with it. He thinks it's great. He says, yeah, it works really, really well. His only beef with it was the grill guard that wasn't heavy enough, and that it was too close to the tractor, which is not the loader itself, it's the attachment. And the attachment was always going to get cut apart and rebuilt. I didn't actually cut anything apart, I just rebuilt it.